Welcome or welcome back. I'm Jen from Jen's House of Six. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. This is a little bit different type of video that I normally do. I am going to be sharing a vintage haul. Some are more recent and some I've had for a while, but I thought I would take the time to show you without showing my face, so it will be a little bit different video. This first item is a holiday item that I failed to show you all. The brand I found out is Princess House, and I know that's a little bit older, not as old as Home Interior, I don't think. I could be wrong about that, but it is older. It stacks into a tree, but I love that it is like a mix and match, like you can use each piece individually and put that topper on whichever one you want as the lid, stack it as high or as short as you want to. I just thought it was just the sweetest little piece, and it's very dainty looking. I used it to put holiday candy in, and I knew that I couldn't go any longer without showing you all. I thought you would very much enjoy seeing it, and it has a wonderful shade of green. It's like when you look at it, it's see-through clear, but it also has this vintage green tone like I've seen on some mason jars. It's just lovely. Now I want to apologize about the lighting for this. I feel like I could have done a better job if I would have moved to a different place in the house, but it is what it is. And this, I believe, is called Jade. And I don't think all of it is, but a few of the pieces are Fire King, which is vintage cookware, I guess you would say. It has a design on the side with the lines, and although I'm not really a green person, I am loving this look of mixing green in with your blues and whites for spring. I see that a lot over on Jamie's channel at Board and Bananas. Also, I follow her on Instagram, and she shares pictures of her hutch at spring, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I need more green pieces to add with my blue. But I saw this set and actually bought it at the same time with the tree from the same person, and it was really so sad, but also very loving. The man's wife had recently passed away, and she had a lot of antique dishes, and he was having a really hard time parting with it. But we got to talking, and he was so sweet and so kind and was glad to let it go to me because he knew I loved it so much. And I was thankful that he trusted me enough to let his wife's precious dishes go to me. They have been sitting in the cabinet, and I thought, you know what, this spring I'm going to pull them out. So if you'll stay tuned, you'll see how I have that displayed later on in the video. But they're just a really... I don't even know if the word is sage. It's just a real pretty springy green. And it's just different than something I normally have or decorate with, to be honest. But, I mean, I guess that's okay, right? You can like things that you don't normally do. And that's the fun thing about vintage, is you can find something old and it becomes brand new to you. I recently picked up this book at a moving sale, and I only grabbed 2 items, and this was one of them. I had never seen or heard of this title before, and I'm not a reader, so me not knowing is not a surprise. But I do like Louisa May Alcott. We have read Little Women and the series of that, and so I thought my daughter might enjoy this, as she is required to read chapter books for her schooling. I really love the shade of green that's on the cover of the book, and then the gold tone of the picture on the front and the binding of the book. It's just so pretty and unique, and for only $1, I just couldn't leave it behind. This regularly scheduled program to bring you Saturday morning breakfast in my vintage cast iron waffle maker. I was excited to try this for the first time. Now I know I showed you guys this waffle maker before, but I thought maybe it would be fun to see it in action. In all honesty, I had extremely high hopes for it, but even with me oiling it down very heavily, and it was seasoned so beautifully, the waffles didn't turn out. They stuck so bad. We ended up not even eating them. I had to pull out my electric waffle maker to finish up breakfast, but I did give it a good go. And now I know it's really just for looks. And yes, as you can imagine, it was quite the chore to get all of that off of there and get it looking shiny and beautiful like it was when I first started. Moving on to my latest find, and this was off of Facebook Marketplace. Actually, my husband's cousin was selling this and only $40, and I felt like that was a really amazing price. I have never seen a piano bench or piano stool like this before. Like, it has a back on it and it has the beautiful claw feet and the seat adjusts, but it has this beautiful etched back so you can lean back on it. I just thought it was so unique, and even though I already have a piano bench, I am going to probably set a plant on top of it or just let it sit right there and look at it and look pretty for a while. I'm not sure yet, but I just couldn't not buy it. I thought it was so pretty and so unique and so vintage. It's just lovely. I haven't cleaned it up yet, so I know it's going to be shining and sparkling soon. But as you can see, so much beautiful detail in this oak wood they used. All the lines are just amazing. And it's an excellent shape for its age. I picked up this vintage rug beater at the same time I got that book that I showed you earlier. I've always wanted one of these. I don't really know why. I just think they look so neat. I may actually use it when I clean my rugs. What was so funny is when I was buying it, it was only $1 too, by the way, which was a really great price. The lady joked that I could use it on my kids when they got out of line. I just thought that was funny. I love the wood and the metal, and you could just tell it's so old, and I don't know, I just feel like they don't make things like they used to. Such a unique item. Spring is finally here, and my grandmother's flowers are blooming like crazy. So my daughter surprised me with a little bouquet that she put together. I love this scripture. It's just a really great reminder to be kind, even in my own house. Sometimes you're hardest and harshest to those you love the most. Maybe because you feel comfortable and you know that you could get by with it because they'll still love you anyway. But man, what a reminder. I want to be kindest to the ones I love the most. I don't want them to remember harshness from someone they love. A stranger wouldn't be as big of a deal, but someone you love being harsh is a little bit harder to deal with. And so I want to always be kind to the ones I love the most. I'm not sure why, but I saw this hourglass at Target on clearance, and I just had to have it. It's just such a visual of how little time you have and how quickly it passes. And it felt like it had a vintage feel to it. We have had such a time with our flock of chickens. I think it's our third or fourth set. I can't remember. I've lost count. But some stray dogs got in our coop and killed all but 2 of our chickens, 1 rooster and 1 hen. And now the hen is so scared or traumatized she will not go back in the coop. And my husband found this wood out in the field that my son had bought that we forgot about. So he was trying to make the barn more sturdy and secure, and it looks so much better. My grandpa built this barn out of scrap wood as he was working in construction. He built houses for a living, so I guess whatever extra wood, he built this barn. And then our cat recently had kittens, and I feel bad for her because she's so young, and we were going to take her to get fixed, and apparently she got pregnant by a wild cat that we didn't know about before we could get that done. So now we really got to watch her so we can go get her fixed, because we don't want her having more kittens. But she was so good to have them in the barn. Usually animals go have them in the oddest places, but she's a good mama and brought them in here where it was warm and safe in the barn, away from all the wild animals. And so now we have 6 baby kittens that we will need to find a new home for. And then our chickens, my husband bought a flock from his aunt and uncle. And so the rooster would never go back in the coop either after that traumatizing event. But once those hens showed up, he followed them right inside. And these are our baby chicks that we hatched, that we incubated and hatched. They're doing really well. I would never call us farmers, but now that I'm looking at all these animals, I'm thinking maybe that's what we are. This baby calf we've been having to feed because her mother died, and she was left bawling, and we realized, oh my goodness, that cow had a baby. So we've been bucket feeding her, and she's actually now moved on to eating hay and milk. So she's doing really well. I want to say thank you all so much for watching. This was a little bit different video than I normally do, but I really enjoyed making it, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. So if you like videos like this, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.